Hi, this is Casablanca Cargo, and this is Kathy, and I'm going to show you how I make one of my journals using just 10 sheets of 12 by 12 paper. Stay tuned. So recently I made some journals to put into my shop, and I've trying to improve my method of making the covers, and I've added pockets. Well, this one I thought I added pockets. You can see that there. But that one right there would not open, and I couldn't figure out why. And I use a little finger blade to slice the laminated from the just right across the top of the pocket, so it pops open. But that one on the front cover, inside front cover, wouldn't pop open, and I figured out that I taped it shut. I was just, probably watching a movie or something, and I just got distracted for just a moment, and so now this cover will be mine because I liked it. I liked the flower I used from a different piece of paper, and so I'm going to make myself a journal. Here's my little storage box of lost and misfit elastic. I'm going to use just leftover bits for this one, and I'm not sure if this piece will be long enough, but I'm going to try. If it isn't, I'll do something else. Yeah, so I don't know. I sliced through I kept trying, and a little bit too hard to get that pocket open, and I sliced through a little bit to the front of the cover, but still I thought I could use it because I thought it was pretty. It was really like one of my favorite covers I made. I didn't do it on purpose, I don't think. So here I'm stringing up the elastic binding, and this will be a little bit challenging. I could have used a third hand. That would have helped because the elastic is a little tight. It's a little short. Not too short because I can still use it, but I figured out I'll just sort of imprison it there at the bottom of the desk, on top of the desk, so that it won't pop out while I'm trying to get the elastic thread through the top, and then it comes back, and I thread that little piece through the bottom, and then still grabbing them so they don't escape. I pull it really tight, really hard, and I was able to make 3 knots. So hopefully it'll hold. If it doesn't, it's just it's my journal. It's not going out to anybody, so I don't take this chance with things that leave my studio. So I'm using this Park Lane Joann's heirloom paper. It's thin, which I like to use in my journals, and now I'm just going to figure out which of these I'm going to put into the journal. I usually, when I'm making a journal that I sell, I will use 15 pages to fill the journal. This time I'm just going to count out 10 because I'm not real sure I have an idea what I want to use the journal for, but I don't want to say yet because if it doesn't work out, it's not another thing that I've failed at that, the whole world will know. I'm going to wait a little bit. Yes, that's what my age now has brought me, a little bit of discretion. I don't know. I'm going to try something, and hopefully it'll work. And if it doesn't, it's just another thing. And so I take out, like I said, I'm just going through this. I really like this paper collection. I like the vintage feel to it, and the designs on some of the papers are really cute. and like that little bicycle themed one that's cute for decorating pages. Now I've got my 10 sheets, and I eyeballed the holes on this one night, so I didn't really measure it out. Usually I have like 7.5 inches, I think. Maybe, I can't remember now, but I have 7 inches from hole to hole. So that is what I will cut my paper at, so that my paper will be 7 inches tall. And I will just, as I go, figure out which way I want to orient the paper. So this is a map, and I'm just going to, make it standard. I did all the other pages. Bingo! Here we go. So I have the proper size of 7 inches high on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side now, it's shorter. It's not going to be tall enough right now. But I have a technique that I do to make it be the right height. So with this one now, usually, and it's the same with this, I'll have a 4-inch clearance. So this long paper now will be cut from 12 inches to 8 inches. And again, I use my trimmer here. It just makes it go faster. I don't have to get my scissors out. And I'll just show you right there. See? Okay, so I saved that piece as well. I fold this piece, and now this is what I call, proper fold, I guess. This is done. The folded piece is done. Now see there, it is too short widthwise. But through the magic of I don't know, desperation, I don't know, but I just don't want to have any more scrap pieces if I can help it. I've got these little squares, and I've got these rectangles, and these will become new pieces of paper. I'm going to take let's see what I got now. I have a scoreboard, and what I'll do now is take the rectangle, and I score it at 4 inches, and that makes a hinge on the paper. And then I will take the other piece of paper there, and guess what? I'm gonna not glue it. I usually glue them. I have glued all of them in the past. And this time, I decided I am not gluing them. This thing's going too slow, even though I sped it up. I'm real fast this morning. Oh, no. I'm going to use a glue stick. So, just glue that hinge part. Put that piece in there. Like that. I think it looks nice. I like that. When I do the hinge. And guess what? I'm using masking tape. I'm going to use masking tape. It was sitting there, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to use masking tape. See how that looks, because it's something different, something unusual for me. This is my journal. I experiment in my own journals to see what I like and see what will work, and that is going to work. And I actually like the way it looks with this old-fashioned looking paper, the vintage looking paper. And also, too, with that masking tape, as I go, I can decorate it. I can use washi tape over it. I can use, other papers over it, thin papers. And if I don't want to, I think it still looks appropriate for the paper. I think it looked all right. It's just, I don't know. It just works really well with these paper colors. So with each one of the rectangles, then I made hinges. Now I've got these squares. And before, I used to just put them in a box and I'm like, okay, I've got some more scraps. But this time I wanted to challenge myself to see what I could do with the squares. And they're 5x5. So I need on either side of the signature needs to be 4 inches. So let's put our thinking caps on and figure out what I'm going to do. That's right, I'm going to glue or I'm going to glue and tape them together and, and make some more paper. And with these I don't know, married pieces, I can still collage over them. I can still, glue stuff over them. It's just, it's, you can even write on them. You can write on the front, you can write on the back. You just have a little masking tape in the middle there. So now it is a little bit long again, which is fine. And I have to slow down. Okay, so now I'm just going to figure out which bit. I want more of the lighter paper in case I do want to write on the front. So that means that the darker paper gets the cut. And there's my hinge. Yep, 7 inches high. Yep, check. And now I'm going to do another 5x5, 2 pieces of 5x5. And this is just, I feel it's a really good way to use up the paper that you're using. If you're using 12 by 12 paper in your journals and it's too big, and you're cutting it down, this way you have a minimal amount of leftover scraps. That's kind of like my goal this year, is to have a minimal leftover of scraps. So there I am cutting at the 7 height, scoring at 4. Now this difference now is, I thought, well, can I add one more there? I don't know. That's a little too crazy. So what I'm doing now is just cutting off that little strip. Put that to the side. And now figuring out which way I'm going to glue and tape the new papers together. And I do add them this way, where the white and the white are together. You can also flip them. I've done that. And I don't know. This is more consistent with what the folded papers are anyway. So I just try to do it white to white, and the decorated paper is on the outside. And so I'm going to continue on to make new paper with the 5x5s. I don't think we need to see all of it. So, with that said, let's move on. All right, now I'm going to finish up the last page here. And I have these little bits right here left. And I have one folded, Franken paper. So I don't know. With this one, I thought, well, let's just give it a go, and I want to see how many pieces could fit in there. So here we go. I'm just gonna glue stick it and masking tape it. just so I don't have one lone piece left, and I can use up just about every bit of paper that I took out of that pad with minimal scraps left over, which is, that's a joy to behold. I love that. So I just go across. Probably if I had, not so, I don't know, a smaller, instead of what is that, 1.5 inches, maybe, masking tape, you can get it width-wise, something smaller, that'd be cool too. But I was just using what I have, and I'll trim off the masking tapes at the sides there. And now this is a little bit wider again, but that's okay. What am I doing now? Oh, gonna make it 7 inches high. So there's a little piece. And glue and tape that in. Probably could, if I painted stuff, it could paint over the masking tape, but I'm not going to do that. I don't really paint anymore than I have to. As you go along, you just figure out what kind of crafts you like to do, and I know that there's people that do amazing things with paint and spackle and stencils and all that kind of stuff, and I appreciate them. So trim off the excess, and I have that little strip, and let me show you what I have left. This is it. This is all I have left from this project of 10 12 by 12 sheets. And so I have about 7 and 8 pieces in each signature. And on the back there, I showed you the holes because, yes, 2 holes, because one night I was eyeballing it and I eyeballed it off. So I made 2 holes instead of 1. And I found this piece of stretchy lace that my sister-in-law had sent me in that big box of fabric. And I thought, instead of using elastic like I always do, I'm going to use this lace and see how that works. So I'm going to cut it down the middle there. It's just little threads that hold that serpentine section together. Cut that apart, and then the fun begins. Instead of feeding the closure so that the knot is on the inside as I normally do, I decided to put the knot on the outside because it is, kind of thick lace there, and I don't want a big fat knot on the inside messing with the signatures. And I have 2 holes, so this worked out really good for me. This accident actually worked out good for me. So the tricky part was feeding the lace through the tiny hole. But eventually, I got a little piece to show through there, and I just was able to grab it and pull it through. And I have the lace fed underneath the elastic on the inside. And there it is. So put the signatures back in, move that pokey tool out of the way. And they're all ready to go there. And then I pull the elastic lace around. And if I had cut off a bigger piece, I could have just, I guess, made a bow. But I don't know. This works for me. And there's my elastic. Well, it is kind of, well, it's a stretchy lace closure. So that's going to work. And I love it because it goes with the vintage kind of feel of this cover and the pages. And thanks for joining me. See you soon.